Hello there, welcome to my channel. Today I thought I'd just give you a status update of what we're doing. We are here at LaSalle Lake Recreation Site in British Columbia, Canada. On May 1st, I actually drove, well, April 30th I drove into Canada. And on May 1st I picked up Tina. We spent a few nights in Calgary. And then we spent a night at Lake Louise, a campground in Banff National Park, and then we spent another night in Jasper at Wapiti Winter Campground, and then now we're here at LaSalle Lake. And those other campgrounds are just all busy and tons of people, and they cost quite a bit of money. The last one was like 40 something dollars, but here it's free. British Columbia has a lot of free recreation sites you can go to, and some of them are beautiful, like right on a lake. Like we have lake views, we've seen beavers, maybe muskrats, lots of loons, lots of fish jumping. It's pretty nice. So we are making our way towards Alaska, and this is just one of our stops. And we're staying here just 2 nights relaxing, because if we drive straight to Alaska, we're going to be there in a few days, and we want to try to get there late May. So we're checking along, and I'll take you along as we go, and I'll point out all the different recreation sites we go to. There are many right off the highway and not too far off, and fortunately they're pretty low elevation, like 2,800 feet. So there's no snow anywhere. It's actually quite nice. It is cold, but there's no snow, so there's little mud. The streets are all open, so it's been really nice. And we're hoping to stay at a bunch of recreation sites as we go. And we're taking a route towards Alaska on the western side, Route 37. And we're going to stay in British Columbia for most of the drive up. And we'll head up towards Tuck, and then we're going to head south towards Anchorage after that. But so stay tuned, and I'll show you this rec site, and I'll show you the next rec site in this video. Pretty beautiful camp spot with just snow-covered mountains in the far back. Some of those have a lot of snow, and when the wind's not going, it's just like reflecting all these different shades of green from all these trees. It's quite beautiful. And the water is crystal clear. Slight tannin color, but super clear. You can see the fish swimming. Really nice site, and it's all free. Weird. Yeah, here you go. As you look in the water, you can see it's slightly brown, but pretty clear. It's shallow here for a while. Lots of trees in the way, but really nice. We were able to see some fish, but I couldn't identify what they are from the surface. It was just kind of murky. Well, not murky, but the water is brownish colored. This lake would have been great for kayaking, but right now everything is pretty cold, ice cold. So we don't want to get all wet here. But it's not a super big lake. It just goes kind of long. And they do have a dock over there and a little like floating dock further out, so in the summer people could swim out to it. And it's kind of long, it goes down. It's a pretty nice lake actually. It'd be nice to kayak, and maybe if we're lucky you can catch a moose. I don't know, we haven't seen any signs of moose on this side anyway, but we hope. At this site, we caught glimpses of many fish in the early stages of spawning, just swimming around. The lake was even full of frogs. You could see their eyes floating just above the surface as they swam around. At almost every lake, you'll also see loons diving to catch some fish and hear them throughout the day with their calls. At many recreation sites, we also found wood that people left behind, which we gladly split and burned. We do like our tidy little piles. We even made doenjang jjigae, a Korean dish, a few times.
It's delicious and a very healthy dinner, which we needed since we were just driving a bunch. Bears. Wowzers are there bears. Before reaching the town of Whitehorse, the capital of Yukon, we counted 19 black bears. If you want to see bears, this drive is the way to go. At a campsite at a lake near Prince George, we got to see a special event. Rainbow trout were spawning in the shallows right by our site. Most of it involved males just relentlessly chasing away other males, but we got to see several females digging holes for their eggs. It was quite a show. The water seemed crystal clear looking down since they were so shallow, but I could only get the camera underwater so close to them within my reach. Life is tough for a male fish trying to breed. Some have a lot of scars to show for it. Yesterday I didn't film much, but in the morning it was quite eventful. We saw 5 black bears as we were driving. Literally my dash camera records files in 3-minute segments. One of them, the bear was 30 seconds in and then about 2.5 minutes into that file. So there were 2 bears just on one file. So many black bears, and they were all huge, fuzzy, chunky ones in the spring. Then we drove to a place called Cobb Lake. It was another recreation site, free, and we stayed there one night, but it was really packed and full of people. It was kind of close to Prince something, Prince Rupert, not Prince Rupert, but it was just it was too busy, and our site was kind of lopsided. It wasn't the best, so we decided to move on. And today we went to another campground. It's another free British Columbia rec site. And it was Sunset Lake, but it was closed because of a fire damage, I guess, making for dangerous trees. So we continued on and came here. We're at like Metcon. I'll put the name of the campsite here. It's not on a lake, it's right on a river. And it's actually pretty nice. It's there's nobody else here. It's crazy on a Friday night. And it's probably ideal for fishing because there's like little areas you can go down and just fish. Most of the campsites don't have water access, but this one does. But we're not fishing. Oddly enough, in certain times of year, only Canadian residents are allowed to fish here. So non-residents aren't allowed. Pretty interesting. I'm guessing it times up with the salmon run that comes through this river here. I guess one of the interesting things now is By this time, we're actually just south of the southern border of Alaska. There's no way to get to Alaska anywhere along this. We have to go way further up before we can do that. But we're just at the edge of southern Alaska, so it kind of feels like we're almost getting there, but we still have a long way to go, and we're going to hug Route 37. We're going to try to go along the west side as much as we can, and on the way back south when we leave Alaska, we'll go further east. But it's quite interesting. British Columbia does have a lot of recreation sites throughout, and most of them are free. Not all of them. This one was $10 a night, but most, maybe not most, but a lot of them are free. And it's actually quite convenient to plan it out. We have been using iOverlander to look at all the sites. Not all the rec sites are in our iOverlander, but a lot of them are, especially along the highways and close to the highways. So you can kind of plan out where your stops are. You just have to coordinate with groceries and gas, I guess. Gas is the big thing. But so far, it's been quite abundant. I think it's no problem. And we'll continue on tomorrow. Today's Friday. We're just going to stay one night, though. We were hoping to find a lake to kayak in because it's been getting warm the last couple days. But it's supposed to chill down, so we're not going to plan on kayaking anymore. But yeah, tomorrow we'll keep going. Today we only saw one black bear, only one. My goal, I told Tina, was to see a black bear each day we're driving. So we'll see. We'll see. Day's not over yet, so there could be a bear around here. Keep an eye out.
While here, we had some cell service and it alerted us about a powerful solar storm coming. We stayed up until dark, which oddly for us now was 11:30 p.m., and watched the northern lights for as long as the clouds permitted us. It started cloudy, but when it cleared up, boy did it light up the sky. It was Tina's first Northern Lights and my second, but we got to enjoy it together, occasionally shining lights around us to make sure no bears were sneaking up on us. This was the strongest solar storm since 2005, so it was a real treat, and many of you probably saw it. At Derrick Lake, we were the only ones there for 2 nights, and it was so far from the road we heard nothing but nature. Birds, wind, fish jumping out of the water. It was one of the quietest camping experiences ever. One downside were the mosquitoes though, but we have new gear to combat them. We chose this time of year to drive because we love seeing the snow up in the mountains, and we timed it just right. There were snow-capped mountains in view almost all day, every day. We even had many frozen lakes along the way, and soon, many frozen lakes at which we would later camp. Sure, it's cold this time of year, but the snow is pretty amazing and it sure kept the bugs away for several days.
is our camp spot for tonight. We're just right off the highway, but I forget the lake name. But the lake has just beautiful views of these mountains back here. It's just all snow-capped mountains back here, and we have a little picnic table. I think it's a rest area, but people camp here all the time, and I can see why. It's really nice, and just amazing views. And it's a great lake, except it's really windy. If it was sunny and not windy, we could even like kayak out of here. But no, we saw a loon out there. The water's pretty clear and the rocks are pretty. It's just cold and windy. Dinner for tonight, this is the easiest one to make. It's a dal bhat. I've shown this in a video before, but it's a thermal cooker. So what we're gonna do is just get this to a boil, pop it in there, and then leave it in the car for a couple hours while we just lay down and stare out the window. And this is the easiest way to quick cook. Otherwise, for dal bhat, you gotta sit and stir it for 15 minutes sitting out here, and that's no fun. So I'd rather just toss it in there and let time cook it. Stay tuned for more of the drive to Alaska.